Relay setting in differential room part 2. After entering the information in protected object and protection device tabs, it is necessary to enter relay differential characteristic curve in characteristic definition tab. In this tab, it is possible to enter the characteristic curve in two ways. By clicking on Draw Custom option, Draw Custom Characteristic window opens where there are several templates of differential characteristic curve for different relays available. The relay type is specified in Object section. After selecting the relay type, the information needed to draw the differential characteristic curve is displayed in Data section in accordance with the relay settings. For example, by selecting Siemens 7UTX relay, the information needed to draw the differential characteristic curve is displayed. In I first stage and I second stage, slope 1 and slope 2, and base point 1 and base point 2 fields, the minimum and maximum differential current specified in the relay, the slope of the first and second lines, and the crossing point of the first and second lines with I bias curve are entered respectively. To better understand the parameters of Data section, on the right side of this window, the characteristic curve shape of each relay is sourced from its corresponding catalog and the parameters are determined schematically. After entering this information, the differential characteristic curve of the intended relay is displayed in Preview section and in the box at the bottom. The start and end point information are mentioned according to I bias and I differential. Also, the slope of the line is displayed in a slope section. By clicking on Draw option, the settings are saved and differential characteristic curve is drawn using the template of the intended relay. The second method to enter the characteristic curve is using the feature available in characteristic definition window, and it is necessary to enter the information of every line of the characteristic curve separately. First, the information of I first stage and I second stage fields are entered. By entering the information of these two sections and closing the test object window, the differential characteristic curve is displayed in differential characteristic between the two entered numbers. After returning to characteristic definition tab in differential block, first, all lines of the characteristic curve are removed by clicking on Remove All, and then after entering the start point and end point coordinates of the first line of the relay curve in New Start Point and New End Point sections, Add option is selected. The slope of the line is calculated by the software in a slope field. Note that the slope of differential line cannot be negative. Now the end point of the second line is entered and then Add option is selected so that the second line is added to the curve. Note that the end point of the second line is the same as the start point of the first line, and that is why the start point section is disabled for the second line. By clicking on Zoom All option after entering the characteristic curve information, the curve is displayed completely in the box on the right side. In the box at the bottom of the page, the information of each section of the characteristic curve is displayed separately. If you wish to remove a part of the characteristic curve, first, the part that you wish to remove is selected from the table and then Cut from Here option is selected. In the end, by clicking on OK, the relay differential characteristic curve is displayed in differential characteristic window. By checking the Show Final Search option, if you have performed a search test, the result of the last search will be displayed in the differential characteristic curve shape. For example, if you draw a line on the characteristic curve and perform a search test, and after clearing, return to characteristic definition and check the Show Final Search option. You can see that the result of the last search test is displayed in the form of a green plus sign on the curve. By completing the Differential Characteristic tab, the Harmonic tab is completed as well. In this tab, the information related to harmonic characteristic of the relay for differential harmonic or in-brush blocking test is entered. This test is performed in differential harmonics room, so all parameters of this section are thoroughly explained in differential harmonics room.